Guys, we are already through phase one of the MCU movies, and that seems so crazy because it feels like it just started this thing. We're getting closer and closer to Avengers Endgame, but I figured I would rank the first phase of the MCU movies. So starting off at number 6 is going to be The Incredible Hulk. Now, this movie has a pretty good performance from Ed Norton as Bruce Banner. It has some decent action scenes, but that's about it. Liv Tyler is a terrible love interest. The villains are pretty lame. This movie is just so dull and boring and doesn't really have a tone at all. It's not dark, but it's not light either. There's like no humor, and it's just the main problem I have with this movie is it's just so forgettable. I hardly even remembered much about this movie after watching it, and I have no intention of really watching it again unless I do another one of these big marathons that I'm doing now. So The Incredible Hulk is number 6. So coming in at number 5 is going to be Iron Man 2. Now this movie actually has some things going for it. Robert Downey Jr. is awesome as usual. He's so charismatic, so funny. This movie has one of the villains is pretty cool in Justin Hammer. I really liked him a lot. They did a good job of introducing Black Widow and incorporating her into this movie. But where this movie really falls apart is the plot. Because there's so many of them. There is entirely way too much going on in this movie. And it almost feels like a commercial for the Avengers at one point. You got Tony and his blood toxicity. You got Justin Hammer. You got Whiplash, who's also a terrible villain. And you got the Nick Fury thing. There's just so much going on in this movie, and it was rushed by the studio, and you could tell because it feels just so disjointed. Iron Man 2 is number 5. Now, coming in at number 4 is going to be Thor. This movie also has some stuff going for it. Like pretty much everything on Asgard, the main Asgardian characters and their performances, particularly Tom Hiddleston as Loki, is great, and the world building that this movie does is incredible, but it runs into problems with basically everything that happens on Earth, with Natalie Portman's character Jane's relationship with Thor just felt so rushed and doesn't work at all, and their chemistry was not good. And Thor's arc also felt rushed, so it's a fun movie with a lot going for it, but there's definitely some issues as well. Thor is number 4. So coming in at number 3 is going to be Captain America: The First Avenger. Now, I, for the most part, like this movie. It has a very cool setting in World War II. It's a period piece that they pull off because it really puts us in this time, makes us feel like we're there. It has a great cast. It has a very relatable main character in Captain America. It has one of the best, if not the best, romance storylines in the entire MCU with Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter. And it has some really cool action scenes. But where this movie falls into trouble is the montage. It just completely stops the movie dead in its tracks. Skinny Cap for the first third of the movie looks very weird and very distracting, and you can tell very easily that it's not real. And the villain, even though he was portrayed well and is kind of cool, is very, very cliched Nazi-type villain. So coming in at number 2 is going to be Iron Man. Now, this movie is awesome. That's the best way I can explain it. It is fun. It is funny. Robert Downey Jr. was born to play this role. He has great chemistry with everyone. He's charismatic. The surrounding cast is awesome. Jon Favreau directs the hell out of this movie. He does a really good job of introducing us to this world and these characters. Just a really fun time. But this movie does have one big issue, and that's the third act, where the main character, Tony Iron Man, fights a character, Obadiah Stane, Ironmonger, of very similar abilities, and it just feels a bit underwhelming, especially because Obadiah Stane throughout most of this movie was a interesting character, and we get the twist that he's a villain, and then they just kind of waste him. So that part just made me a little bit mad, but overall, really did enjoy this movie. It's a really awesome movie. Great movie to introduce us to the MCU, and Iron Man falls at number 2. So coming in at number 1, obviously, is The Avengers. God damn, I love this movie. It is so fun. It is funny. The witty banter between these characters is awesome. Seeing them on the screen all together for the first time, seeing them all fight together, the really cool action scenes, the great villain in Loki. So much to like about this movie that the minor issues that I have with it, like Cap's suit or that the second act drags a bit, are by far and away outweighed by the positives. Just such an awesome movie. They pulled it off so well, bringing all these characters together for the first time, this big blockbuster movie. So The Avengers is definitely at number 1. So there you have it, guys. My ranking of the first 6 movies, also known as Phase 1 of the MCU. Have you guys seen all those movies? How would you rank Phase 1 of the MCU? Drop a comment below. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see future content, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when I post a video. Guys, spread the word. I'll see you soon.